Welcome to our exhibition of Citizens Food. My name is Blue. Citizens Food is a multidisciplinary humanities and science course that empowers the next generation of food citizens that understand their choices have a meaningful impact and are empowered to advocate for change. As students, we were engaged by making connections between food and issues that we care about: culture, the environment, human health, food, access, and power. We considered the essential question: how can food be an avenue to empowerment, social justice, and building community? We will begin by taking a look at our Padlet, which covers all the topics we studied during this quarter. We began each class and ended each class at the Padlet with a do now and exit ticket. This Padlet is a chronicle of the work on this course. The link to this Padlet will be in the chat. Feel free to visit the Padlet anytime to see the scope and sequence of our studies this quarter. Now my classmates will show you the work we added to the website for Food Revelations, which begun last spring.
Hi, my name is Julissa. This is our 2021 Food Revolutions website, initially created by last year's class and added to by our class. The link to the website is in the chat and we welcome you to visit it whenever you like. Our homepage explains our call to action and a little about our school. It also provides a link to message us about our work at the bottom of the page. At the header of the website, there is a page called Citizen Food where we showcase this year's transformational learning experience. After each unit we studied, we completed written commissaries based on our own argumentative claims and supported them by three pieces of evidence which we listed and explained. Finally, we created mindful menus of dishes that supported an aspect or aspects of our study in this course, including preserving culture, protecting the environment, promoting human and animal health, standing for equal access, and practicing sustainability. Next, my classmate Angie will discuss written commissary number one.
Brain commentary number one. What is the relationship between food and someone's cultural identity? There is sometimes a strong relationship between someone's cultural identity and the foods he or she eats, but sometimes that relationship is strained or lost for health reasons, homelessness, personal choice, finances, not living with other people who share your culture, or living far from home. I chose as my three pieces of evidence my own lived experience, the Eddie Page story, and stories of those people with food allergies and who are adopted and living with those who don't share their culture. Next, my classmate Lily will discuss written commentary number two.
Hi, I'm Lily, and this is written commentary too. How do our everyday choices about food impact the environment? How, how might we consider the environment in our food choices to make a meal more mindful? When we think about food we eat, we must think about the environment and our impact on it. For instance, how do you know where your meat comes from? Did you know that the USDA reports that 99% of all meat, dairy, and eggs in the US comes from factory farms where animals are raised in CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations? Did you know did you also know that industrialized agriculture is the leading contributor to fossil fuel emission in the US by far, even more than cars? Changing where you buy your meat and dairy or switching to a plant-based diet could have a huge impact on the environment. The three pieces of evidence I used was the USDA statistics on meat, dairy, and egg production in the US, Michael Pollan's excerpt from his book Food Rules, and Anne Lapp's excerpt from her book Diet for a Hot Planet. Now, my classmate Ali will discuss written commentary too. 3.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah, and this is my third written commentary. What accounts for the different access communities have to affordable, sustainable food, and how can we be more mindful about it? Food access is a human rights issue, and an unequal food access is caused by many things like food deserts, a lot of resources, and a lack of education. Food deserts are areas where access to healthy, affordable food is not available, and this is due to the lack of grocery stores and supermarkets within walking distance or on public transit routes. It is also because healthy food is more expensive, requires more resources to cook, doesn't last as long as processed food because it doesn't have all the chemicals and preservatives of processed foods, and it requires knowledge of how to cook it. I used as my 3 pieces of evidence the USDA Resource Atlas to locate food deserts, the food policy and the food bank paper, and the New York Times article. Giving the poor access to healthy food doesn't mean they'll buy it. Now my classmate Blue will discuss her menu.
Blue's Bistro. Enjoy our grain, dairy, and gluten-free lasagna. This meal is an interesting twist in traditional lasagna, made with locally grown eggplant, tomatoes, broccoli, and spinach, bursting with flavor in every bite. Support your local farmers market by eating today at Blue's Bistro with unbeatable prices. I chose this meal because it is one of my favorite meals my mother makes, and it supports the local economy and environment by shopping local and being dairy and meat free. It also increases food access by being affordable for all. Now my classmate Lily will discuss her menu.
Lily's Pizza Place. Make your own pizza. We start with our homemade crust from organic whole wheat flour and cover it with our homemade organic tomato sauce, pestos, and artisan local cheeses. Then top it off with our local sustainably grown organic fresh vegetables and herbs to delight your taste buds and protect our environment. I wrote this menu thinking about the environment. I chose locally grown foods to reduce transportation and carbon emissions. I chose organic, sustainably grown vegetables and herbs to support healthy soil and reduce chemical use. Now, my classmate Angie will read Rocio's menu.
Rosio's Cafe. Vegan scallop sweet potato au gratin. Fresh hand-picked potatoes cooked in creamy coconut milk and nutmeg until golden, then topped with savory roasted pecans. With this dish, you can devour the soft, boiled, natural sweet potatoes, partnered with the creamy and crunchy factor from rich coconut and almond milk and crunchy pecans. Rocio picked this meal because it is part of her culture identity. Her family eats lots of sweet potatoes in many different recipes. She also used fresh, hand-picked potatoes because they are better for the environment. She used coconut and almond milk due to her heritage and as a way to avoid dairy and CAFOs. Rocio used non-GMO, local, sustainable grown pecans because they are eco-friendly and heart and brain healthy.
We would also like to thank our special guest this year, Julius Kalawahu, founder of the African Alliance and dedicated advocate for sustainable community farming. You can learn more about Julius at our special guest page. Thank you for coming today.